What's up, you guys? It's Steve here, and we're getting a lot of news coming in this morning as we're getting word of major announcements that are going to be made today, along with new spending offers that are going to be hitting the table in Congress likely today as well. And this is your breaking news and stimulus update. Now, first up, you guys, take a look at this. Democrats are going to be making a global offer on government funding, Ukraine, and pandemic assistance. That's right. Now, is this going to work? They're going to do a global offer to assemble everything all together. Let me know your thoughts, you guys. But also, they don't have very much time to get this done. We're going to be having the end of our government funding, that stopgap bill, on March 11th. They have until Friday to try to get something done, and they're trying to do a global offer. Let me know your thoughts. Now, in addition to that, today we're hearing very soon President Biden is going to be announcing a ban on U.S. imports of Russian oil, sources say. Biden is set to make his remarks from the White House on Tuesday morning. Today, we're hearing this is going to be a huge, major announcement that he is now going to be banning Russian imports. And you guys, Russia is responding. Take a look at these headlines coming out this morning. Russia warns of $300 oil if the U.S. and Europe proceed to an import ban. So you guys, things are getting tense with the war in Russia and Ukraine. So a lot of details coming out, and also, as I mentioned, new global offers on pandemic aid, Ukraine, and also we need some government funding here in the next 3 days. So I'm going to dive into these articles, get you caught up on the latest as to what's unfolding. But before we do, if you could do me a quick favor, if you appreciate the updates, keeping you up to speed on everything going on, don't forget to take a quick second to smash that like button for me. Helps out the channel a ton. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Also, leave your comments, share this out. If this is your first time here and you like to stay up to date, totally free to do so. All you got to do is hit that subscribe button, turn on that notification bell. If you got any specific questions for me, I'm easy to get a hold of directly. All you got to do is hop onto Instagram, shoot me a DM at SteveRam3. And with that being said, you guys, let's go ahead and dive in and get you caught up on the latest happening right now with additional pandemic stimulus aid, Ukraine, Russia, and the new announcements coming out today. All right, so first up, link in the description below to this article that just came out that says Democrats, they're going to be making a global offer on government funding and Ukraine and pandemic assistance. Now, the article says that Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer on Monday, yesterday, he said that Democrats had made a global offer as Congress tries to wrap up government funding negotiations by a Friday night deadline. So that is the end of the current stopgap funding bill. They've got to get this done or we will be looking at a government shutdown. Right now, there seems to be just a million things going on, so they've got to get this taken care of as well. Democrats have made a reasonable global offer to Republicans, and it is my hope that we will reach an agreement very soon so that way we can meet the March 11th government funding deadline, Schumer wrote in a Dear Colleagues letter. In addition to government funding, the massive bill is expected to include billions of new military and humanitarian assistance to address Russia's invasion of Ukraine. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, in a letter to her caucus over the weekend, said that the administration had requested $10 billion to aid Ukraine, and Congress intended to enact this emergency funding this week as part of their omnibus government funding legislation. And the White House has also requested $22.5 billion for pandemic relief. Republicans have balked at the number, arguing that there needs to be an accounting for how previous pandemic money was spent. So they're wanting to do an additional $22 billion for aid for combating the pandemic. We had heard the president say he was going to be calling upon Congress for an additional $30 billion. So this is likely it. They want to include it in this global bill, but we will see, because it doesn't sound like Republicans are on board, and if they reject that, they're rejecting the entire bill, which also includes the government funding. Now, we have been working on a bipartisan, bicameral basis through the weekend to finish work on an omnibus package that includes robust assistance to the people and the government of Ukraine and additional funds to ensure our country is prepared if and when the next pandemic variant strikes. So, we're also hearing from members of Congress and lawmakers that they're concerned about a new subvariant or new variant of the pandemic hitting, causing a new wave, and they want to be ready ahead of time. Congress has until the end of Friday to get a government funding bill to Biden's desk for him to sign in order to prevent a government shutdown. Complicating the schedule, the House is supposed to leave town for the week after Wednesday. And in order to meet the Friday deadline, the Senate will also need a deal with the 100 members in order to speed up the passage of the spending bill as well. So it is crunch time, you guys. Now, a group of conservatives is demanding a vote on defunding Biden's vaccine mandate in exchange for speeding up the government funding legislation. A group made similar demands on previous stopgap bills passed by Congress and were able to get amendment votes, which failed. We are writing to let you know that we will once again not consent to a time agreement that eases passage of a CR or omnibus that funds these mandates, the group led by Senator Mike Lee wrote. Now, if negotiators aren't quickly able to reach an agreement, they could need to use the continuing resolution to buy themselves more time, so doing another CR or stopgap funding bill again. And it said we'd have to make great strides between now and say Monday, Tuesday at the latest to do this, said Richard Shelby. He said this late last week about how to avoid a CR. So you guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Are they going to be able to do a global offer to get all of these things funded, taken care of, and passed? Or are they going to need to do another stopgap funding bill? Let me know your thoughts, you guys. We will see, and I will let you know here on the channel. All right, you guys. Now, in addition to that, major news coming out this morning, just 24 minutes ago from the time of this recording, that is, Biden is going to be announcing a ban on Russian oil imports, it says, to the U.S. on Tuesday morning amid bipartisan pressure as Russia continues its invasion of Ukraine for the 13th day. The president is set to make remarks from the White House on Tuesday morning where he will announce actions to continue to hold Russia accountable for its unprovoked and unjustified war on Ukraine. As the war in Ukraine rages on, Americans are facing the surge in gas prices, and the Biden administration is facing calls from Republicans and Democrats in Congress, as well as Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, to ban imports of Russian oil and increase domestic energy production. Zelensky on Monday called for a boycott on Russian oil imports to the U.S. and European countries. And Secretary of the State Anthony Blinken said on Sunday that the administration is speaking with partners and allies to look in a coordinated way at the prospect of banning the imports of Russian oil while making sure there is still an appropriate supply of oil on world markets. Now, a Biden administration official told Fox Business Tuesday morning that the administration's announcement about a possible ban on oil imports from Russia to the United States was imminent. So you guys, this is going to be happening. White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki, during a press briefing on Monday, addressed the issue and said no decision has been made at this point by the president about a ban on importing oil from Russia. She said that Monday, adding that discussions are going on internally and with counterparts and partners in Europe and around the world. But it sounds like today this announcement is going to be taking place. Now, in addition to that, we're hearing that Russia is responding, and they're saying, you guys, get ready. Gas prices and oil is going to be skyrocketing, and Russia warns of $300 oil if the U.S. and Europe proceed with import ban. Now, the Kremlin warned Tuesday that oil prices will surge to unprecedented levels if the U.S. and European lawmakers proceed with a ban on Russian oil and gas imports in response to the invasion on Ukraine. Russian Deputy Prime Minister Alexander Novak warned that the global oil prices could hit $300 per barrel in the event of an import ban. The top Kremlin official also suggested Russia could shut down the Nord Stream 1 pipeline, a key supplier for Germany, in retaliation. It is absolutely clear that a rejection of Russian oil would lead to a catastrophic consequence on the global markets, Novak said on state television. The surge in prices would be unpredictable, and it would be $300 per barrel, if not more. Now, jumping down, Novak, a key deputy to Russian President Vladimir Putin, suggested that it could take Europe more than a year to replace oil shipment volumes if Russia cut off its access to its supplies. And you guys, Europe receives over half of its oil from Russia. The United States is about 8%, 10%. So it is going to be impacting us, especially Alaska, Hawaii, California, the western coast that receives it right from Russia. But Europe is going to be really hit by this. And he had this to say. Listen to this. European politicians need to honestly warn their citizens and consumers what to expect, Novak said. If you want to reject energy supplies from Russia, go ahead. We are ready for it. We know where we could redirect the volumes to. So they're saying that's fine. Go ahead and do it. Now, analysis warns that the prices of oil could surge to $150 or beyond in the short term, depending on the severity of a potential import ban. Now, the Ukrainian conflict has led to further upheaval in global energy markets that was already struggling to keep pace with demand. American motorists are paying record prices at the pump, with the nationwide average price per gallon of gas reaching an all-time high of $4.17 as of Tuesday, and we're hearing it's going to be continuing to go up. So you guys, that is the latest major announcement going to be coming out today. We're going to be seeing what goes on with oil prices and gas prices. We've heard it suggested that some states are going to be providing an inflation oil stimulus check. That is right, because they're saying that this is just getting out of hand. It's going up so high. And also, things are intensifying with Russia and Ukraine. We're going to be seeing how things go. And also, I will keep you up to date to see what Congress does with that global offer on more pandemic assistance, government funding, and also providing additional assistance for Ukraine. So you guys, a lot unfolding. Like I said, I'll keep you up to date as more information rolls out. And as always, thank you so much for joining me. If you made it this far and you haven't already, don't forget, take a quick second, smash that like button for the algorithm. Helps out my channel a ton if you appreciate the updates. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Also, leave your comments. Share this out if you think it's going to help out other people. If this is your first time here and you want to stay up to date, totally free to come join the Ram fam. All you got to do is hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you get notified of new updates right away. And if you got any specific questions for me, I'm easy to get a hold of directly. All you got to do is hop onto Instagram, shoot me a DM at SteveRam3, and I'll do my best to get you any answers to any questions that you have. But with that being said, you guys, thank you again, and I will catch you in the next one. Take care. God bless. This is Steve.